Maintaining the system of racial gerrymandering. You saw that one political party, the Chamber of Commerce, a couple of members of Congress, those are the people who are behind the opposition to 5 and 6. I woke up this morning in a hotel in Tampa where I was, and I turned on the TV and there was the anti-5 and 6 commercial, and it had all the logos of the organization. I don't know if you saw that commercial, and the ACLU logo was prominent right in the center, and it said, outside interests are trying to change our politics in Florida. Of course, what they don't tell you is that, first of all, outside interests. Our office is on 4500 Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. We're not an outstate interest, but outstate interest, and every single major newspaper in the state of Florida has urged you to vote for Amendments 5 and 6 as well. I'll tell you one more area where the integrity of our election system is being sacrificed for some perceived partisan interest. And that is a project that our organization has been involved in and has been largely responsible for moving the needle in a way, and that is the restoration of voting rights in Florida for people who have a former felony conviction. We are ground zero. This is a problem that's only a handful of states have, and we have that problem in Florida more than any other place in the country, more than any other place in the world where elections are conducted. Close to 1 million people in the state of Florida who walk around the streets, hold down a job, pay their taxes, try to be good citizens. Some of them have had convictions 30 years ago. They're different people than they are now. They lose their right to vote for the rest of their lives. And that right to vote is being held captive by a legislature and by an executive branch of government. The cabinet are people who can adjust that because of some perceived partisan advantage, frankly. 39% approximately of the former felon population in the state of Florida are blacks. And it's presumed that blacks will vote Democrat, and therefore people don't want to. Why are we going to re-enfranchise a bunch of black Democrats? We're not going to do that. And it's a scandal that we have in Florida that close to 1 million people do not have the right to vote and have lost that right to vote for the rest of their lives. So let me conclude by just telling you what is going to happen after this election, depending upon the outcome of the election. First of all, due to successful gerrymandering, whatever happens in this election, the legislature is hardly going to change at all. You will hardly see there was a seismic shift in the country in 2008 when President Obama was elected. A huge shift in there, hardly any impact in Florida whatsoever. We have had successful gerrymandering in which I think there were, in the last 10 years maybe, I think there were only three incumbents in our legislature who have been defeated. That is a tribute to very effective gerrymandering of the district. So you'll hardly see any change in our legislature. But if 5 and 6 pass, then in 2011 and in 2012, based on the census, the lines will have to be redrawn. And the lines will have to be redrawn based upon the standards that are in 5 and 6 about districts being compact and contiguous and next to each other and protecting the position of minority voters and so on. This is going to be tough, and I have to tell you, please work hard for those. I'm not very optimistic because you have to get 60% to amend the Florida Constitution. So it's not just getting a majority. We got to get a supermajority of 60%. But it is, for the long range, for the history of this state, the most important thing that really is on the ballot. We are going to be locked into the terrible public policies that you've seen in Florida unless we change the way district lines are drawn that give us gerrymandered and unrepresentative state legislatures.